The alien ship floated in the dark space like a broken toy. Its crystal walls were cracked and bleeding blue light into the void. Inside, Commander Leithka pressed her long fingers against the control panel and watched the numbers on her screen drop lower and lower. "Commander," said Velnix, her science officer. His forearms moved quickly over his station. "The air will run out in 6 hours. The engines are dead. The Vorthons destroyed everything." Leithka closed her large eyes for a moment. Her skin flickered with sad blue patterns. The Zephyrians had been studying distant worlds for peaceful contact. They wanted to make friends with new species. They had been careful to avoid dangerous places. But the Vorthons had found them anyway. The Vorthons were a cruel race. They captured other species and made them work as slaves. They destroyed anyone who tried to fight back. Their warships were massive and covered in weapons. The Zephyrians were scientists, not warriors. They had no chance against the Vorthon attack. Now 3 Vorthon warships surrounded the broken research vessel. The Vorthons waited like hungry predators. They would take the Zephyrians to their mining worlds. There, the gentle blue aliens would work until they died. "There is one option," Velnix said quietly. His voice shook with fear. "The emergency beacon?" Leithka had hoped to avoid this choice. The beacon was experimental technology. It would send a signal to every inhabited world within 50 light years. Most civilizations would ignore the call for help. Others might come to steal their technology. Some might be even worse than the Vorthons. How many worlds will receive the signal? She asked. Velnix checked his instruments. 847 worlds, Commander. The signal will reach them in 17 different mathematical languages. We can offer our scientific knowledge in exchange for rescue. The other crew members looked at their commander. 12. Zephyrian scientists waited for her decision. They all knew the risks. But they also knew what would happen if they did nothing. "Send the beacon." Leithka ordered. Velnix activated the device. The beacon screamed across space faster than light. It carried a simple message in mathematics that any advanced civilization could understand. Peaceful researchers under attack. Need help now. We'll share all scientific knowledge for rescue. The signal raced through space at incredible speed. It reached dead worlds and empty systems. It touched planets where primitive creatures looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. It found civilizations that had conquered entire star systems. On most worlds, the signal was ignored or never detected. But on the 3rd planet of a small yellow star, something different happened. Dr. Alex Carter was drinking coffee in the middle of the night shift at the Australian Deep Space Station. The monitoring equipment was usually quiet. Space was big and empty. Most nights, nothing interesting happened, and the computer started making noise. Alex nearly dropped his coffee cup. The translation software was working overtime. Numbers and symbols flashed across his screen. The computer was trying to make sense of something it had never seen before. "No way," Alex whispered. He read the message 3 times to make sure he was not dreaming. Then he grabbed his phone and called his supervisor. "Dr. Carter, this better be important," said Colonel Jake Morrison. The military officer was not happy about being woken up at 3 in the morning. "Sir, we have a situation. We just received a distress call from actual aliens. They are asking for help." There was silence on the phone. Then Colonel Morrison said, "I will be there in 20 minutes. Do not tell anyone else about this yet." Alex stared at his screen. The signal was still coming through. Somewhere in space, aliens were trapped and scared. They had sent a message to hundreds of worlds, hoping someone would care enough to help. He wondered if humanity would be the ones to answer. Back on the damaged alien ship, Leithka waited. The Vorthons had noticed the beacon transmission. Commander Grekthul, the leader of the Vorthon attack force, appeared on her communication screen. His reptilian face was covered in scars. His teeth were sharp and yellow. "So the little fish sends a message," Grakthul laughed. "Good. Perhaps more prey will come to us. We will add their ships to our collection. We only want to conduct peaceful research," Lythka said. "We have never harmed anyone." "Research is for the weak," Grakthal replied. "The strong take what they want. Your ship, your technology, your lives, all belong to the Vorthan Empire now." The communication ended. Lythka felt hope fading. Even if someone received their message, would they risk fighting the Vorthans? Most civilizations knew about the Vorthan Empire. They were famous for their cruelty. They had destroyed entire planets to make examples of those who opposed them. Hours passed. The Zephyrian crew worked to save power and air. They received many responses to their beacon. Most were refusals. Some civilizations offered to buy their technology after they were dead. Others warned them that helping would bring Vorthan revenge, and Vel Nix received a different message. "Commander," he said, his voice filled with surprise, "we have a response from the third planet of the Sol system. They call themselves humans. They say they are coming to help us." Lythka felt her skin flicker with hope. "What do we know about this species?" "Nothing in our databases," Vel Nix replied. "But they are broadcasting their travel time. They will arrive in less than 2 standard cycles." Lythka was amazed. Most civilizations would take weeks to organize a rescue mission. These humans were moving incredibly fast. "Commander," another crew member said, "I am detecting energy signatures from the human response. Their technology appears to be very advanced." For the first time since the attack, Lythka allowed herself to hope. Perhaps these humans were different. Perhaps they would not abandon peaceful researchers to the VORT Hansdat. She did not know that humanity had never abandoned anyone who asked for help. She did not know that Earth had spent thousands of years learning to fight impossible odds. She did not know that the most dangerous predators in the galaxy were about to learn what it meant to threaten human friends. The beacon had reached Earth, and Earth was coming. The emergency meeting room in Washington was full of the most important people on Earth. President Lisa Rodriguez sat at the head of the table. Military leaders, scientists, and government officials filled the other chairs. Everyone looked serious and worried. "Ladies and gentlemen," the president said, "we are about to make history. This is humanity's first contact with an alien species, and they are asking for our help." Colonel Jake Morrison stood up and activated the main screen. The alien message appeared in translated text. The distress call came from a research vessel. They are peaceful scientists under attack by something called the Vorthan Empire. They are offering to share their technology in exchange for rescue. Dr. Amy Foster, the lead xenobiologist, raised her hand. "Madam President, this is exactly what we always hoped first contact would be. A chance to help and make friends with another species. What about the risks?" asked General Paul Stevens, the head of Space Command. "We know nothing about these Vorthans. They could be more advanced than us. We could be flying into a trap." President Rodriguez looked around the table. "Dr. Foster, what is your recommendation?" Amy stood up. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "We have to help them. These are scientists like us. They reached out to 800 worlds looking for help. If we ignore them, what does that say about humanity?" "I agree," said the president. "But we need to be smart about this. General Stevens, what are our capabilities?" The general activated another screen showing a sleek spacecraft. "The Endeavor is our newest vessel. It uses the experimental faster-than-light drive that we have been testing. Captain Ben Taylor is our best pilot. He has experience with dangerous missions." "What about weapons?" asked the president. The Endeavor carries our latest plasma weapons and defensive systems. Against unknown technology, we cannot be sure how effective they will be. President Rodriguez made her decision. We are going to help them. Prepare the Endeavor for immediate launch. This mission is code-named Operation Lifeline. 3 hours later, Captain Ben Taylor received his orders. He stood on the bridge of the Endeavor looking at his crew. These were some of Earth's best people, and they were about to risk everything for aliens they had never met. Listen up, everyone, Ben said. We have a rescue mission. Peaceful alien researchers are trapped by hostile forces. We are going to get them out. Dr. Amy Foster checked her equipment one more time. She had studied alien life for 15 years, but always from a distance. Now she would meet actual aliens face to face. Captain, what do we know about these Vorthons? Lieutenant. Commander Rick Hayes looked up from his tactical station. According to the message, they are an empire that captures other species. They sound like space pirates or worse. Chief Engineer Maria Santos finished her final engine checks. The faster-than-light drive is ready, Captain. We can be there in 18 hours. And if we need to fight? Ben asked. Sergeant Danny Brooks smiled from his weapons station. Our plasma cannons pack enough punch to crack a moon. These Vorthons will get a big surprise if they try to stop us. Ben nodded. Remember, we are not going there to start a war. We are going to help fellow researchers. But if anyone tries to stop us, he let the words hang in the air. The Endeavor launched from Earth orbit 18 hours after the alien message was received. The experimental drive folded space around the ship. Stars stretched into lines as the vessel jumped to faster-than-light speed. During the trip, the crew studied everything they could about the signal. Amy worked with the computer to learn the alien language. Rick analyzed the tactical situation. Maria made sure all systems were running perfectly. The aliens call themselves Zephyrians, Amy reported. From the signal, they seemed to be a peaceful species. They mentioned they were studying primitive worlds for contact protocols. So they are explorers like us, Ben said. What about the Vorthons? The distress call mentions an attack by the Vorthon Empire. Based on the aliens' fear, these Vorthons must be very dangerous. Rick looked at his tactical display. Captain, I have been thinking about the situation. If these Vorthons are as bad as they seem, they might have the alien ship surrounded. We could be flying into an ambush. That is a risk we have to take. Ben replied, We promise to help, and we keep our promises. Meanwhile, on the damaged Zephyrian ship, Commander Lythka tried to keep her crew calm. The air was getting thin. The power was almost gone. The Vorthons continued to circle there, ship like sharks. Commander, Velnik said quietly, we are receiving more responses to our beacon. 47 civilizations have answered. Good news? Lythka asked hopefully. 39 have refused to help. They say the Vorthons are too dangerous. 6 others want to buy our technology after we are dead. 2 have not responded yet. Lythka felt her hope fading. What about the humans? They are still coming. Their signal shows they will arrive in 6 hours. 1 ship against the Vorthon fleet, Lythka whispered. They are brave, but they do not understand what they face. Commander Grakthol contacted them again. His scarred face filled their screen. Little fish, we have detected your human friends. 1 small ship against 3 Vorthon warships. They will make a nice addition to our collection. Please, Lythka begged. The humans are only trying to help. They have done nothing to you. They have interfered with Vorthon business, Grakthol snarled. That is enough. We will destroy them slowly so you can watch. Then you will know the price of calling for help. The communication ended. Lythka felt terrible. The humans were coming to rescue them, but they were flying into a trap. The Vorthons would destroy the human ship, and take its crew as slaves. "Commander," one of her crew said, "maybe we should warn the humans. Tell them to go away before it is too late." "No," Lithka said firmly. "They chose to come. They knew the risks. We will not dishonor their courage by telling them to abandon us." In space, the Endeavour dropped out of faster-than-light speed at the edge of the system. The crew immediately detected the alien ships. The Zephyrian research vessel was clearly damaged and surrounded by 3 large warships. "Red alert," Captain Taylor ordered. "All hands to battle stations." The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency. Amy monitored the alien communications. Rick analyzed the enemy ships. Maria prepared the weapon systems. Danny armed the plasma cannons. "Captain," Rick reported, "the Vorthan ships are big, but they seem to use older technology. Fusion weapons and basic shields. Nothing we cannot handle." "Good," Ben said. "Open a channel to the lead Vorthan ship." The main screen flickered and showed Commander Grakthul. The reptilian alien looked at the humans with amusement. "So, the famous humans have arrived," Grakthul laughed. "Your ship is tiny compared to ours. You have made a mistake coming here." "This is Captain Ben Taylor of the Earthship Endeavour," Ben replied calmly. "We received a distress call from the research vessel. We are here to provide assistance." "The prey belongs to the Vorthan Empire," Grakthul snarled. "Leave now, or we will add your bones to our collection." Ben looked at his crew. They all nodded. They had come too far to back down now. "I'm afraid we cannot do that," Ben said. "We do not abandon people who ask for help." Grakthul's laugh sounded like breaking glass. "Then you will die for your foolishness. All ships, open fire." The 3 Vorthan warships opened fire at the same time. Bright plasma beams and explosive missiles streaked through space toward the small human vessel. The weapons lit up the darkness like deadly fireworks. On the Endeavour's bridge, alarms sounded. Captain Ben Taylor gripped his chair as the ship shook under the attack. The shields absorbed most of the damage, but the Vorthans had more firepower than expected. "Shields down to 70%, reported Chief Engineer Maria Santos. "But they are holding." "Return fire," Ben ordered. "Target their weapon systems only. We are not here to kill anyone." What happened next shocked everyone in the star system. The Endeavour's plasma cannons fired thin beams of superheated energy. The weapons had been designed by humans who had spent thousands of years perfecting the art of war. They cut through the Vorthan shields like a hot knife through butter. The first Vorthan ship lost all its weapons in seconds. Explosions bloomed along its hull as the human plasma beams found their targets. The second ship tried to turn away, but Lieutenant Commander Rick Hayes was too fast. His targeting computer locked onto the enemy weapons and destroyed them. One by one, Commander Grakthul stared at his screens in disbelief. Impossible. Their ship is too small to carry such powerful weapons. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "both escort vessels have lost all weapons. We are the only ship still armed." Grakthul was furious. The Vorthans had conquered dozens of worlds. They had never met a species that could match their firepower. These humans were supposed to be weak and primitive. "Ram them," he screamed. "Destroy their ship with ours." The massive Vorthan dreadnought turned toward the Endeavour. Its engines glowed bright red as it built up speed. The ship was 10 times larger than the human vessel. A collision would destroy both ships. "They are trying to ram us," Rick reported. "Should we move out of the way?" Ben smiled grimly. "No, let them come. Danny, are the antimatter torpedoes ready?" Sergeant Danny Brooks grinned from his weapons station. "Always ready, Captain. These babies pack enough punch to crack a small moon. Fire." 2 antimatter torpedoes streaked away from the Endeavour. They were small compared to the massive Vorthan ship, but they carried the most destructive weapons humanity had ever created. When matter and antimatter touched, they destroyed each other completely and released pure energy. The torpedoes hit the front of the Vorthan dreadnought. The explosion was visible from the other side of the star system. The entire forward section of the enemy ship simply vanished. The rest of the vessel tumbled through space, its engines dead and its hull cracked open. Commander Grakthul found himself floating in what remained of his bridge. Emergency lights flickered around him. Most of his crew was dead or injured. He could not understand how this had happened. "Human vessel," he said weakly into his communicator. "You have made a terrible mistake. The Vorthan Empire will send a fleet to destroy your entire species." Captain Taylor's voice came back calm and steady. "Commander, you attacked a peaceful research vessel. You threatened to enslave innocent scientists. You fired on a rescue ship. The only mistake here was yours." "What are you?" Grakthul whispered. "We are humans," Ben replied. "We come from a dangerous world. We learned to fight because everything on our planet wants to kill us. We learned to work together because it was the only way to survive. And we learned never to abandon our friends." The communication ended. Grakthul stared at his broken ship and wondered what kind of monsters these humans really were. On the Zephyrian research vessel, Commander Lifeka and her crew watched the battle with amazement. The human ship was tiny compared to the Vorthan warships, but it had destroyed them in minutes. "Incredible," whispered Velnix. "I have never seen such precise weapons fire." They disabled 2 ships without killing anyone. "The humans are contacting U.S." Another crew member reported. The main screen showed Captain Taylor's face. Lifeka was surprised by how young he looked. His species seemed similar to her own, but with different features. "Commander Lifeka," Ben said, "this is Captain Ben Taylor of the Earth vessel Endeavor. We are here to help you." "Captain Taylor," Lifeka replied, her skin flickering with gratitude patterns, "you have saved our lives. But you have also made a powerful enemy. The Vorthans will not forget this." "We will deal with that when it happens," Ben said. "Right now, we need to get you and your crew to safety. Can your ship be repaired?" "Our engines are destroyed," Lifeka said sadly. "We have maybe 2 hours of life support left. Then we will come to you. Prepare for docking." The Endeavor moved carefully toward the damaged alien ship. Dr. Amy Foster put on her environmental suit and prepared for humanity's first face-to-face meeting with an alien species. "Remember," Ben told his crew, "these are scientists like us. They reached out for help when they were in trouble. We are going to treat them as honored guests." The 2 ships connected with a soft bump. The airlock cycled open, and Amy Foster stepped into the Zephyrian vessel. She was followed by Maria Santos, who carried repair equipment. Amy removed her helmet and looked around in wonder. The alien ship was beautiful. The walls were made of some kind of crystal that glowed with soft light. Everything was curved and organic, like it had been grown rather than built. "Welcome to our ship," Commander Lifeka said. She was tall and graceful, with blue skin that shimmered with changing patterns. "I am Commander Lifeka of the Zephyrian Science Collective." "I am Dr. Amy Foster," Amy replied with a smile. "We are honored to meet you." The 2 crews worked together to repair the Zephyrian ship. Maria Santos was amazed by their biotechnology. The aliens had grown their ship like a living organism. It could heal itself if given enough time and resources. "Your species is remarkable," Velnix told Amy as they worked. "You achieved faster than light travel in such a short time. Most species take thousands of years to develop such technology." "We are good at learning from our mistakes," Amy replied. "And we are very good at solving problems." As the crews worked, they shared information about their worlds and cultures. The Zephyrians were peaceful explorers who had been studying the galaxy for centuries. The humans were new to space, but had already shown they were formidable allies. "Your weapons are incredibly advanced," Lythka said to Captain Taylor. "How did you develop such technology?" "We come from a dangerous world," Ben explained. "We had to learn to defend ourselves. Every species on Earth is trying to survive, and that made us very good at fighting." "But you also came to help us," Lythka pointed out. "You risked your lives for strangers." "That is what friends do," Ben said simply. The repairs were going well when Rick Hayes detected something on the long-range sensors. "Captain, we have a problem. I am reading massive energy signatures approaching the system." Ben hurried to the tactical station. The sensor display showed 17 large ships heading toward them. They were moving fast and would arrive in 6 hours. "The Harvester fleet," Lythka said, her skin turning pale with fear. 17 dreadnoughts and a planet killer. "The Vorthons have called for reinforcements." "How powerful are they?" Ben asked. "Each dreadnought carries enough firepower to destroy a city. The planet killer can crack a world in half. They are coming to make an example of everyone involved." Ben looked at his crew. They were outnumbered 17 to 1. The approaching fleet had enough weapons to destroy planets. Any sane person would run away. "Get me a channel to Earth," Ben ordered. "Tell them we need backup, all of it." "Ben," Amy said quietly, "we cannot start an interstellar war over a rescue mission." "We are not starting a war," Ben replied. "We are finishing one. The Vorthons made their choice when they decided to hurt innocent people. Now they get to learn what happens when you threaten our friends." The message was sent to Earth at faster-than-light speed. Within minutes, alarms were sounding at every military base on the planet. Ships that had been in maintenance or rushed back to service. Crews were called back from leave. The entire human space fleet was mobilized. "This is Admiral Kate Morrison," came the reply from Earth. "The cavalry is coming. Hold your position." Ben smiled. Kate was his sister and the best military commander in the fleet. If anyone could save them, it was her. "How long until they arrive?" Lythka asked. 4 hours, Ben replied. "We just need to hold out until then." The Zephyrian commander looked worried. "Captain, your fleet cannot possibly match the Harvester fleet. They have conquered entire star systems." "Maybe," Ben said. "But they have never fought humans before. They are about to learn why nobody messes with our friends." The Vorthon Harvester fleet arrived, expecting to find debris and cowering survivors. Instead, they found something that had never happened in their 3,000 years of conquest. A human battle group was waiting for them. Admiral Kate Morrison stood on the bridge of the battlecruiser Defiance. Around her ship, 17 other vessels formed a protective formation. These were not just military ships. When Earth heard that their people were in danger, everyone wanted to help. The destroyer, Relentless, was commanded by Captain Tom Bradley, a former submarine officer. The destroyer Unstoppable was led by Captain Sue Parker, who had fought in the Mars colonies. The carrier Freedom launched 50 fighter craft piloted by the best pilots Earth had ever produced, but the most surprising ships were the civilian vessels. The mining ship Iron Will had been converted to carry kinetic weapons. Its captain, Joe Murphy, was a former asteroid miner who knew how to break things apart. The research vessel Discovery carried electromagnetic pulse weapons designed to study stars. Dr. Lisa Chun, its captain, had volunteered to fight alongside the military. Even the luxury cruise ship Starlight had joined the battle. Captain Robert Hayes had converted the passenger decks into medical bays. His crew of doctors and nurses were ready to treat wounded aliens. "Admiral," reported Commander Frank Stone from the communications station, "all ships are in position. The Vorthon fleet is dropping out of hyperspace." Kate looked at the tactical display. 17 massive enemy ships appeared on the screen. Each one was larger than anything in the human fleet. Their combined firepower could destroy entire planets. "Open a channel to all ships," Kate ordered. "This is Admiral Kate Morrison. Today we fight not just for Earth, but for the idea that peaceful people deserve protection. The Vorthans think they can bully anyone they want. Time to show them they are wrong." On the Vorthan flagship, War Master Koz Val studied the human fleet with amusement. He was even larger than Commander Grakthul, with more scars and sharper teeth. He had destroyed hundreds of worlds and enslaved millions of beings. 18 ships, he laughed. They bring 18 ships against the Harvester fleet. Have they lost their minds? "The human vessels are much smaller than ours," reported his tactical officer. "But their weapons destroyed 3 of our warships earlier." "Impossible," Kozval snarled. "No species has weapons that can match ours. These humans are primitives who just learned to fly between stars." He opened a communication channel to the human fleet. "Human Admiral, I am War Master Kozval of the Vorthan Empire. Your pathetic fleet faces the might of 17 dreadnoughts and a planet killer. Surrender now, and I will grant you quick deaths." Admiral Morrison appeared on his screen. She was calm and composed, like she faced planet-killing fleets every day. "War Master, this is Admiral Kate Morrison of the United Earth Defense Force. You are ordered to leave this system immediately. Any ship that attacks peaceful researchers will be destroyed." Kozval's laugh shook his entire bridge. "Destroyed? By you? I have conquered systems with 1,000 times your firepower. What makes you think you can stop us?" "Because," Kate said simply, "you have never fought humans before." The battle began with the Vorthans firing every weapon they had. The space around the human fleet lit up with plasma beams, missile explosions, and energy weapons. The sheer volume of fire was enough to wipe out most civilizations, but the human ships moved like they were dancing. They had been designed by people who grew up on a world where everything was trying to kill them. Earth's military had studied every battle in human history. They knew how to fight against impossible odds. The fighter craft from the Freedom swarmed around the Vorthan dreadnoughts like angry bees. The pilots used tactics that no spacefaring civilization had ever seen. They had learned to fly in Earth's atmosphere, where one mistake meant death. "What are they doing?" Kozval screamed as fighters weaved between his ship's weapons fire. "No one can fly like that. They are using atmospheric combat techniques," his tactical officer reported. "But that is impossible in space." "Everything is impossible until someone does it," one of the human pilots said over the radio. Lieutenant Mike Davis had been flying since he was 16. He had fought in air battles over Earth's oceans. Space was just a bigger ocean to him. The mining ship Iron Will moved into position near the largest Vorthan dreadnought. Captain Joe Murphy had spent 20 years breaking apart asteroids for their minerals. He knew exactly where to hit a ship to cause maximum damage. "This is for threatening innocent people," he said as he fired the kinetic weapons. Chunks of metal moving at incredible speed slammed into the Vorthan ship. The weapons designed to crack asteroids tore through the enemy armor like paper. The research vessel Discovery used its electromagnetic pulse weapons to disable entire enemy squadrons. Dr. Lisa Chun had originally designed the weapons to study solar flares. Now they were shutting down Vorthan ships faster than their crews could restart them. "Impossible," Kozval roared. "These are civilian ships. How can they fight like this?" "Because every human is a warrior when their friends are threatened," Admiral Morrison replied over the radio. "You picked the wrong species to mess with." The battle raged for 4 hours. The Vorthan ships were larger and more numerous, but the humans fought with a fury that no one had expected. They moved like a pack of wolves, coordinating their attacks and protecting each other. The destroyer Relentless dove under a Vorthen dreadnought and fired its plasma cannons into the engine section. The enemy ship exploded in a ball of fire. The destroyer Unstoppable used its speed to stay ahead of enemy weapons while raking their hulls with continuous fire. Captain Tom Bradley grinned as he watched another Vorthen ship lose power. These guys have never fought anyone who fights back. They are used to picking on peaceful species. Their mistake, replied Captain Sue Parker as she destroyed another enemy weapons array. Nobody hurts our friends and gets away with it. On the Zephyrian research vessel, Commander Lythe Kay watched the battle with amazement. Her skin flickered through colors that had no names in any language. The humans were fighting 17-1 odds and winning. This is incredible, Vel Nix whispered. They are actually defeating the Harvester fleet. The humans fight like no species I have ever seen, Lythka said. They move like predators, but they are protecting prey. They have weapons of incredible power, but they came here to rescue scientists. Dr. Amy Foster watched the battle from the Endeavor's bridge. She had studied alien life for years, always wondering what first contact would be like. She had never imagined it would involve a space battle. Captain, she said to Ben Taylor, I think we are witnessing something historic. The humans are not just winning this battle. They are changing the entire balance of power in the galaxy. Ben nodded as he watched another Vorthen ship surrender. The Vorthens have been bullying peaceful species for centuries. Maybe it is time someone stood up to them. The battle turned decisively when the luxury cruise ship Starlight used its converted passenger decks to rescue the crews of damaged Vorthen ships. Captain Robert Hayes had turned a civilian vessel into a mobile hospital. He was saving the lives of his enemies. Why do you help us? Asked a wounded Vorthen officer. We came here to destroy you. Because that is what decent people do, replied Dr. Corinne White, the ship's chief medical officer. We save lives, even the lives of those who would harm us. The Vorthen officer stared at her in confusion. In his entire life, he had never met anyone who showed mercy to their enemies. By the end of the battle, 12 Vorthen ships were destroyed or disabled. The remaining 5 ships, including Kozvol's flagship, were trying to escape, but the human fighters were too fast and too skilled. This is impossible, Kozvol muttered as his ship lost power. How can primitives defeat the Harvester fleet? Because we are not primitives, Admiral Morrison said over the radio. We are humans. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day. We learned to fight because we had to. We learned to work together because it was the only way to survive. And we learned never to abandon those who need our help. The War Master's ship drifted powerless in space. Around him, the mighty Harvester fleet was broken and beaten. Escape pods fled toward the edge of the system as the crews abandoned their ships. This is Admiral Kate Morrison of Earth, came the broadcast that would echo across the galaxy. Let it be known throughout all civilized space. Humanity offers friendship to all peaceful species. But those who prey upon the innocent, who enslave the weak, who profit from suffering, you now have a problem. Because Earth has joined the fight, and we do not lose. 6 months after the battle, the galaxy had changed forever. The news of humanity's victory over the Vorthen Harvester fleet spread to every civilized world. For the first time in 3,000 years, the Vorthen Empire was in retreat. Commander Lythka stood in the United Nations building in New York City. She wore a special translator device that allowed her to speak with humans in their own language. As Earth's first alien ambassador, she had an important job to do. The Galactic Council has voted, she announced to the assembled human leaders. Earth is now recognized as a protectorate power. You have the right to defend any peaceful species that asks for your help. President Lisa Rodriguez smiled as she signed the treaty. We are honored by this responsibility. Humanity will not let you down. Outside the building, crowds of humans and aliens celebrated together. The Zephyrian research vessel had become a permanent embassy ship in Earth orbit. Other alien species had started arriving to meet the famous humans who had defeated the VORT Hans Doctor. Amy Foster was now the head of the new Department of Alien Relations. Her office was always busy with visitors from distant worlds. Today she was meeting with refugees from the former Vorthan territories. The mining colonies have been liberated, reported Captain Ben Taylor, who now commanded the new rescue fleet. 17 species have asked for human protection. The Vorthans are abandoning their conquered worlds rather than fight us. Amy looked at the reports on her desk. Each one told the story of a species that had been enslaved by the Vorthans for generations. Now they were free because humans had answered one alien distress call. What about the Vorthans themselves? She asked. Many of them are surrendering, Ben replied. It turns out a lot of Vorthan soldiers never wanted to be conquerors. They were forced to fight by their leaders. We are helping them build new colonies where they can live peacefully. A transformation had been remarkable. War Master Kozval was now in a human prison, but he was being treated fairly. Many of his former soldiers had joined the new galactic peacekeeping force. They were learning that strength could be used to protect instead of destroy. Admiral Kate Morrison walked into Amy's office carrying a datapad. We have another situation, she said. The hegemony of Civic is threatening 3 peaceful worlds in the Vega sector. Amy sighed. What do they want? The usual. Slaves, resources, and tribute. They think because the Vorthans are gone, they can take over their territory. They are wrong, Ben said grimly. Send the message. Any species that threatens peaceful worlds will face the same fate as the Vorthans. Kate smiled. Already done. The Endeavor and 5 other ships are on their way. The Civics will have a choice. Leave the peaceful worlds alone, or deal with angry humans. The message was always the same now. Across the galaxy, aggressive species were learning that the rules had changed. Peaceful civilizations were no longer helpless. They had protectors who would cross the stars to help them. On the Zephyrian homeworld, children learned about the day their research ship was saved by strange aliens from a dangerous planet. The story had become a legend, told in schools and homes across their civilization. The humans came when no one else would, the teachers would say. They risked everything to save people they had never met. They taught us that the strongest creatures in the galaxy use their strength to protect the weak. Commander Lyth Ka often visited Earth's museums and universities. She loved to see how humans learned from their mistakes and always tried to do better. Their planet was indeed dangerous, but they had turned that danger into a strength that helped others. Your species is remarkable, she told Dr. Foster during one of their regular meetings. You have ended wars that lasted for centuries. You have freed billions of slaves. You have brought peace to dozens of worlds. We learned from you, Amy replied. The Zephyrians showed us that science and exploration are better than conquest. You taught us that the universe is big enough for everyone to find their place. The partnership between humans and aliens had brought amazing discoveries. Zephyrian biotechnology was helping humans cure diseases and grow food in space. Human engineering was helping aliens build stronger ships and better defenses. The mining ship Iron Will had been converted into a mobile factory. Captain Joe Murphy now traveled between worlds, teaching aliens how to use human industrial techniques. His crew was helping rebuild the civilizations that the Vorthans had destroyed. The luxury cruise ship Starlight had become a hospital ship. Captain Robert Hayes and his medical team provided free treatment to anyone who needed it. They had saved millions of lives in the former Vorthan territories. It started with one distress call, Leithka often said when telling the story. 12 frightened scientists sent a message to the stars, hoping someone would care enough to help. We never expected that the most dangerous predators in the galaxy would answer that call. The beacon that had once carried a desperate plea for help now broadcast a different message. Earth and the Zephyrian Science Collective had created a new network that connected peaceful civilizations across the galaxy. To all species seeking knowledge and friendship, the message said, "You are welcome among us." To all who would harm the innocent, know this: the Deathworlders have awakened, and they stand with the righteous. The name had stuck. Humans were now known throughout the galaxy as Deathworlders, creatures from a planet so dangerous that it had created the most effective warriors in known space. But these warriors used their skills to protect rather than conquer. Young humans who heard the stories wanted to join the rescue fleet. The Academy on Mars was always full of cadets learning to pilot ships and fight battles. But they also learned diplomacy, science, and medicine. A human warrior was expected to save lives as well as take them. Remember, Admiral Morrison would tell the new graduates, "We are not conquerors. We are guardians. Our job is to make sure that no peaceful species ever faces extinction alone." The Vorthan Empire was gone, replaced by the Galactic Peacekeeping Alliance. Dozens of species worked together to explore the universe and help each other grow. The Alliance's symbol was simple: a small blue planet surrounded by stars, representing Earth's promise to protect all peaceful worlds. Commander Leithka retired from active duty and became a teacher. She spent her time educating young Zephyrians about the galaxy beyond their world. Her favorite lesson was always about the day the Deathworlders came to help. "The universe is vast and full of wonders," she would tell her students. "But the greatest wonder is kindness. When we called for help, expecting nothing, the humans risked everything to save us. They taught us that the strongest beings in the galaxy are those who use their strength to help others." Dr. Amy Foster often visited schools on Earth and alien worlds. Children always asked her the same question: "Are humans really the most dangerous species in the galaxy?" "Yes," she would answer. "We are very dangerous. Our planet made us strong and tough and smart. But we learned something important. The most dangerous thing you can be to a bully is someone who protects their victims." In the deep black of space, human ships continued their patrols. The Endeavor and her sister ships moved between the stars, ensuring that no civilization would ever again face destruction alone. They carried a simple message from a small blue planet: evil might be strong, but good people working together were stronger. The galaxy had learned a fundamental truth. When death itself decided to help, wearing the flag of Earth and carrying the hopes of peaceful species everywhere, nothing in the universe could stand against it. And in the quiet moments between the stars, the rescued remembered the day that salvation came from the most unlikely place. A dangerous world where the deadliest predators had learned to love their friends more than they feared their enemies. The beacon still broadcasts its message today, reaching new civilizations and carrying the promise that first echoed from a damaged Zephyrian research ship. You are not alone. The Deathworlders are watching, and they will come.